I know we all heard that saying, just let go and trust God. It can sound right, but feel unclear. Because what does that actually look like when you're in a real conversation, a real situation with real emotions? When your child says something that stirs you, when you see a decision being made, and when you feel that urge to step in, what do you actually do in that moment? So let's slow this down and make it real. Letting go is not ignoring what's happening or pretending everything's okay or disconnecting emotionally. And it's also not becoming passive. Letting go is intentional restraint, but with trust. It's choosing not to step into a role that God never asked you to carry. And that starts in very small moments, not big, dramatic decisions, but everyday interactions. Let me walk you through what this can look like. Letting go looks like pausing instead of reacting. Your child may say something that hits you the wrong way. Maybe it feels dismissive. Maybe it's disrespectful. Maybe it feels like they're not hearing you at all. And your natural response is right there to correct it, to address it, to defend it. But instead, you pause. Not because you don't have something to say, but because you're choosing not to react from emotion. And that pause, that is not weakness, that's self control. In scripture, James, the first chapter, 19th verse, it says, be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. So that pause creates space for you to respond differently. Letting go also looks like not correcting everything. Now, this one is hard because as a parent, you see things clearly and you see the patterns, you see the consequences, and you see where this could go. And the instinct is, I need to say something. But letting go sometimes look like asking, is this something that actually needs my voice right now? Or is this something they need to experience for themselves? Because not every moment requires correction. Some moments require space to allow those consequences to come in, to kick in. Letting go looks like allowing the consequences. And this is one of the hardest parts because you don't want to see them struggle. You don't want to see things fall apart, and you definitely don't want to see them hurt. But here's the truth: consequences are often where clarity comes from. If you step in every time, you may unintentionally delay what they need to learn. Now, I want to be careful here. This isn't about withdrawing support completely. It's about not removing every weight that was meant to get their attention. In scripture, Galatians, the sixth chapter, seventh verse, it says, a man reaps what he sows. Now, while that can feel heavy, it also is how growth happens. So, letting go sometimes looks like shifting from reacting to praying. Instead of immediately addressing something, take it to God first, not as a last resort, but as your first response. And this is where your role becomes powerful in a different way. Because you're no longer trying to change them through conversation alone. You're partnering with God in what He's doing. You may pray something like, God, give me wisdom on when to speak and when to stay quiet, or help me not to respond from fear, but from peace, or work in them in ways I can't reach them. And that shift, it changes everything. Letting go, it looks like releasing the need to be understood. Now, this one goes deeper because sometimes you're not just trying to help, you're trying to be heard, to be understood. And when that doesn't happen, it creates frustration. But letting go, it looks like saying, I don't need to make them understand me right now. Not because your voice doesn't matter, but because this may not be the moment they can receive it. So let's bring this all together. Letting go is not about doing less, it's about doing things differently. You're still present, you're still loving, you're still aware, but you're no longer going to force conversations or manage the outcomes or carry what was never meant for you to carry. And something begins to shift when you start to live this way, not just around you, but within you. The pressure starts to lift, the urgency starts to settle, the emotional swings start to stabilize, right? Because you're no longer trying to control every moment. Now, this is where I want to guide you into a simple practice. The next time you're in a situation where you feel that pull to step in, walk yourself through this. I want you to pause, then breathe, then ask God, what does letting go look like right here? Not in general, not in theory, but in this exact moment. And then trust the nudge that you feel. Now, here's the deeper insight I want to leave you with. Letting go is not a one time decision, it's a daily, moment by moment posture. There will be times you do it well and times you catch yourself after the fact. That doesn't mean you're failing, it means you're learning. Now, as you begin to live this out, something starts changing inside of you in a quiet but powerful way. And in the next video, we're going to talk about that shift, what it looks like when God starts changing you, your reactions, your emotions, and how you carry this journey.